In this section, we're going to talk about opportunities for those maybe in their mid-career or even the tail end of a career, or maybe someone who wants to start a new career after working in a field and they want to start over. Well, do not think of your age as a deterrent in getting a federal job. Yes, most law enforcement and jobs that require physical activity such as running, chasing perpetrators may have age restrictions, but the vast majority will not. So do not automatically write yourself off because you have some gray hair. A mid-career in government would tend to be classified as a GS-12 to a GS-15. However, you might want to even apply for jobs that are a GS-5 or a GS-7 because you have such experience and you'll have a greater chance of finding that government job. So do not limit yourself. So you see, you have a large scale of jobs to apply for, from a GS-5 upwards to a GS-12 to 15. Especially if you are switching career fields, you may want to consider a lower grade position. There are typically more openings for the lower grade levels, and at the higher grade levels there is a lot of competition. So you may want to go where the competition is less intense, and that is in the lower grade levels. What you may want to look out for are jobs that are listed and advertised at multiple levels. Say a job that has classified as a GS-12, 13, 14 positions. So it shows you that this job has some potential and is not exclusive to one pay grade. What you want to do is stress in your resume, and remember, your government resume should be thick. It should not be concise like in the private sector. You want to mention in your resume, which should be job specific for the one that you are applying for, that you have the experience and qualifications for the position. So look at the ad for the position and make sure you have wording in your resume that matches that description for the job. What you want to do is avoid corporate acronyms that government HR may not be familiar with. Say, for example, you worked in accounting and you used the acronym P&L for profit and loss. You may want to write out the full wording profit and loss instead of using the acronym P&L. You want to make sure that everything is clear and that you are speaking the same language. On your resume, focus on accomplishments and emphasize the audience and the beneficiaries of your work. Elaborate. Mention specific examples. If you were involved in high-level management in the private sector, including positions as Chief Financial Officer or a Human Resource Director or a CEO, you may want to look into the Senior Executive Service. And this is a special group of leaders that was established by Congress in 1978. There are approximately 7,000 SES positions. 10% of them are politically appointed, but the rest are not. Most of the Senior Executive Service positions are in general management and are responsible for leading major components of an agency. The SES selection process is different from that of the GS for other government hiring. Applicants will need to address both the candidate's technical and professional qualifications for the specific job, as well as standard set of leadership competencies or executive core qualifications, as defined by the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. Executive core qualifications are generally more encompassing than your average KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities questionnaires. Candidates are expected to present articulate and comprehensive statements addressing these competency areas: business acumen, building coalitions, communications, driving results, leading people, and leading change. The key to getting an SES position is to be realistic about your capabilities and not to waste time applying for jobs that you are not fully qualified for. You may have a better chance applying for a GS-14 or a GS-15 managerial job, and after serving a year or two at these levels, then applying for an SES job. More and more workers in their twilight years are finding second careers in government. Experienced workers 55 years of age or older now represent more than 11% of new hires to the federal government. This has increased from 8.5%. So a larger and larger portion of federal employees are in the older brackets. More and more government is open to hiring retired workers. And not only that, you may want to have the option to work part-time. 24% of new federal hires 55 years or older are part-time workers. Some agencies even make a specific effort to recruit experienced workers. Agencies that have recently hired candidates over the age of 50 into over 20% of their job openings include the Small Business Administration, the National Science Foundation, the Department of Treasury, the Broadcasting Board of Governors, the Department of Commerce, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Energy, the Government Printing Office, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the Office of Personnel Management. The National Institutes of Health has been named as one of the AARP's best places to work for those over 50. And the Internal Revenue Service has conducted specific outreach efforts through a variety of media and its own website to reach experienced talent. So there are opportunities for older workers. Do not be intimidated. Some agencies are even seeking you out, and they're seeking your valuable experience. And as the private sector is more restrictive on who they hire, you may want to look toward government. There may be more opportunities here for you. Be mindful, if you spent your career working for the private industry, government will be a little different for you. You'll constantly be dealing with congressional budget cycles and, to a slight extent, or to a more slight extent, the bureaucracy. So be patient, and you may have to adapt to your new positions, but there are opportunities here for your growth, for your advancement, and for your happiness. So do not rule out government jobs, no matter what age group you belong to.